What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. It was widely anticipated that Nikki Haley, who has been running in my opinion, rather futile campaign against former President Donald Trump for the Republican presidential nomination, it was widely believed that after Super Tuesday, which was yesterday, she would end her presidential campaign. And that's exactly what happened. Shout out to the brother LB. He did a video talking about this very morning. Nikki Haley suspends her presidential campaign. The only thing that would have, I think, kept her campaign alive is if somehow she won. I would say at least maybe 4 to 5 states. If that would somehow happen, then maybe she could argue momentum. But at this point, winning only one of the 15 states that held primaries yesterday, it just was futile at this point. I remember mentioning yesterday I thought the one state that she could possibly win would be Vermont. And I believe that's the one state that she did win, Vermont, yesterday. Other than that, Trump swept all of these races. And Joe Biden, of course, the President of the United States, he really has no real actual competition, and swept all 15 states and the territory of American Samoa. So, I'm trying to see if I can find some of these totals here. So in Alabama, Joe Biden swept with 89% of the vote. Donald Trump in Alabama got 83%, Nikki Haley 13%. In Alaska, Donald Trump got 88% of the vote to Nikki Haley's 12%. In Arkansas, Joe Biden got 89% of the vote. In Arkansas, Trump got 77% to 18% for Nikki Haley. In California, Joe Biden got 89% of the vote. In the GOP primary in that state, Donald Trump got 79% of the vote to Nikki Haley's 18%. In Colorado, Joe Biden, 83.5% of the vote. In Colorado, Donald Trump, 63% to Nikki Haley's 34%. Some of these primaries, there's a crossover. They're open primaries, which means that you could be an independent, you could be a Democrat, but you could vote in other primaries. You don't necessarily have to vote in the Democratic primary. You could be a Democrat, but you could vote in the Republican primary. You can only vote once, if I'm not mistaken. But you can vote in other primaries. So, some of these states, Nikki Haley is receiving Democratic and independent votes as well. In Maine, Joe Biden got 93% of the vote. Maine, Trump got 73%, Nikki Haley 26%. Massachusetts, Joe Biden 83%. Same state, Donald Trump 60% to Nikki Haley's 37%. Yeah, the New England area is not Donald Trump's stronghold. So that's why I always said that Nikki Haley would do better in the Northeast. And if I remember correctly, Vermont was an open vote, open primary. So that's why I thought that she could probably beat him in Vermont. Minnesota, Joe Biden 71%, uncommitted 19%. That's kind of if I'm Joe Biden, the Democrats, I'm a little bit concerned about that. Minnesota GOP primary, Donald Trump 69%, Nikki Haley 29%. North Carolina, Joe Biden 87%, Donald Trump 74% to 23%. Oklahoma, Joe Biden 73%. Joe Biden should be winning some of these states by larger margins, in my opinion. I mean, there was no real opposition there. I mean, yeah, there's other people on the ballot, but most these people have never had any real media exposure like that this time. So I don't know why he's not getting more 90% and above. Well, I do know, but you know what I mean. Donald Trump 82% in Oklahoma, Nikki Haley 16%. Joe Biden in Tennessee 92%. That's one. Same state, Donald Trump 77% to 20% for Nikki Haley. In Texas, Joe Biden 85% of the vote. Same state, Donald Trump 78% to 17%. Utah, Joe Biden 88% of the vote. Same state, Utah, Trump 57% of the vote. Nikki Haley 42%. Utah is also one of those states, even though it's generally Republican and very conservative Republican, that's always been a problem area for Trump. Trump's personality, his earthiness, it's never been a real good fit for the extremely conservative, religious Utah Republican voters. He's never done that well in Utah. Though Utah is so Republican, Trump will still win it against the Democrat easily, but not by the margins you normally see for a Republican. Vermont, Joe Biden, 90%. Vermont, Nikki Haley, 50%. To Donald Trump's 46%. That's the one state I thought that she could win. Vermont, Joe Biden, 89%. Donald Trump, 63%. To Nikki Haley's 35%. So that's it. That's it. As you can see, those states were not competitive at all, except for Vermont, for Trump and Nikki Haley. Now, I'm trying to see if I can see the delegate count as of me recording this video for here we go. For the Republicans, Donald Trump now has 1,059 pledged delegates. That means he's less than 160 away from the total needed to sew up the nomination. Nikki Haley has 93. So that's not even a contest right now. I'm trying to see if I can see Joe Biden's total. He has 1,497. Uncommitted 7. Palmer 3. He needs 1,968 to win the nomination, so he's about 500 shy. He'll get that very, very soon. So it looks like we will have a rematch of Joe Biden versus Donald Trump in 2024. It'll be the first time we've had a rematch presidential election since 1956, when Dwight D. Eisenhower and Adlai Stevenson went at it again. In 1952, Eisenhower won a landslide against Stevenson, 442 to 89 Electoral College. Popular vote 55.1% to 44.4% for Eisenhower in 1956, and even bigger a landslide for Eisenhower, won 41 out of 41 states at the time. At that time, D.C. residents could not vote. And Alaska and Hawaii were not yet admitted as states. Eisenhower won Electoral College 457 to 73. One elector in Tennessee I think, voted for Estes Kefauver, who was Stevenson's vice president, for president. He got Estes Kefauver, who was Eli Stevenson's running mate for vice president, received an electoral vote for president. The popular vote was like 57% to 42%. So that's the last time. Trump, I believe, will become the first ex-president since Grover Cleveland to run again for the presidency and successfully get the nomination. This had not been done since 1892. So this is rather historic when you look at it from that perspective. As we all know, Grover Cleveland was the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Donald Trump is seeking to become just the second president to do that. So that's it. Nikki Haley's out of there, and this is no longer really a race. It's a coronation on both sides now. So tell me what you guys think.